So here we have a really interesting algebra problem where x cubed plus 2x squared all divided by x is equal to 3. And we are going to solve this together for all valid values of x. But before we dive into the solution, I would really appreciate it if you could take a quick moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps me make more exciting math videos for you. Now, let us look closely at this equation. X cubed plus 2x squared over x equals 3. And the first thing you probably notice is that annoying x sitting in the denominator on the left-hand side. And honestly, nobody likes working with fractions if we don't have to. So the very first thing we want to do is clear that fraction to make our lives a lot easier. To do that, we take the x that is dividing everything on the left and we move it over to the right-hand side where it will do the opposite operation, which means it will multiply the 3. So now when we rewrite this, it looks much cleaner as x cubed plus 2x squared is equal to 3 times x, which simply gives us 3x. Now we have a nice polynomial equation, but we're not done yet because to solve for x, we really need to set this whole thing equal to 0 so we can use our factoring skills. Let us take that positive 3x from the right side and bring it over to the left side. And remember, when we cross that equal sign, the sign changes, so it becomes negative 3x. Now our equation looks like x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. This is where you need to open your eyes and look for patterns, because if you look at each term carefully, you will see that every single one of them has an x in it. We have x cubed, then x squared, and then just x. So that tells us we can factor out a common x from the entire expression. When we pull that x out to the front, we open a parentheses and write what is left over. So from x cubed, we are left with x squared. From 2x squared, we are left with positive 2x. And from minus 3x, we're just left with minus 3. And then we close the parentheses and set it all equal to 0. Now this is beautiful because we have turned a cubic equation into a product of x and a quadratic equation. X squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Since these two things multiply to give 0, we can split this problem into two separate cases to find our roots. The first case is super simple. We just take that x on the outside and say x equals 0, which gives us our first possible answer right away. For the second case, we need to solve the quadratic part inside the parentheses, which is x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Now, you could use the quadratic formula if you really wanted to, but this one factorizes so nicely that we can just use the factorization method. We are looking for two numbers that multiply together to give us negative 3, and when we add them up, they give us positive 2. If you think about it for a second, those numbers have to be positive 3 and negative 1, because 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and 3 minus 1 is positive 2. So we can rewrite the middle term and break this down into factors of x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 1 equals 0. Now, solving for x here is a breeze, because if x plus 3 equals 0, then x must be negative 3. And if x minus 1 equals 0, then x must be positive 1. So now it looks like we have found three roots for this equation, which are 0, positive 1, and negative 3. But wait, do not stop here and click away, because this is the most critical part of the video where most students lose points on exams. We have to verify these answers because not all of them might actually work in the original equation we started with. Remember, our original equation had an x in the denominator, so let us check these one by one. First, let us try x equals 1. So if we plug 1 into the left side, we get 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 squared, all divided by 1, which is just 1 plus 2 over 1. And that equals 3, which matches our right-hand side perfectly. So x equals 1 is definitely a valid solution. Next, let us check x equals negative 3. So we plug that in and we get negative 3 cubed plus 2 times negative 3 squared, all divided by negative 3. Now, negative 3 cubed is negative 27, and negative 3 squared is positive 9, so 2 times 9 is 18. This gives us negative 27 plus 18 on top, which simplifies to negative 9, and when we divide negative 9 by negative 3, we get positive 3. Since that matches the right-hand side, x equals negative 3 is also a correct solution. Now here's the big moment. Let us check that first root we found, x equals 0. If we plug 0 into the original equation, we get 0 cubed plus 2 times 0 squared, all divided by 0. The top part becomes 0, but the bottom part is also 0, so we end up with 0 divided by 0, which in mathematics is a huge red flag, because it is an indeterminate form, and division by 0 is strictly undefined. This means that x equals 0 is an extraneous root. It is a fake solution that appeared because we multiplied by x in the first step, but it does not satisfy the original problem, so we have to reject x equals 0. Therefore, the only true solutions for this problem are x equals 1 and x equals negative 3. I hope you enjoyed this step-by-step solution and found this verification method helpful. If you have any doubts or if you solved it a different way, please write your questions and methods in the comment section below. And do not forget to like and subscribe for more daily math challenges. Thanks for watching.